What up? What up, people? What's going on? This is like trying my new setup, y'all. If I can get it set up. Not the greatest set. Hey, twin. Hello. I'm starting this skincare challenge. I've been following this Black esthetician on Twitter, and so I'm not wearing makeup in this episode, which for me is a little normally I am. How you doing, twin? What you up to? Oh, thank you. I'm hearing like an echo. Sorry. Need that. Thank you. I'm kind of excited for the show because we're doing sex stories. Sex stories. And I was like, at least if some people don't have any, I've always got sex stories. Thank you, twin. You know what? I haven't been taking good care of my skin for a hot minute. And this Black esthetician, like I'm in love with her. I think because she like cusses you to get you. She's like, So it's 8:00. Have you done your skincare routine yet? It's like, okay, fine. I mean, call me out on it. But yeah, I'm like, all right, this is gonna be dope. Oh my gosh, you know what? I completely forgot about charging my devices while I have these things. I don't know how I forgot that. Normally I'm like on the ball with the charging, but I'm a little off the ball. Okay. Back. So, sex stories. I know there's not as much people in right now, but that's okay. That is okay. Yes, I will. Well, actually, I follow her on Twitter. I'll send you her Twitter handle. But she's starting a challenge tomorrow, April 8th, and it's basically just like to be doing your morning and nightly routine, because I'm always falling off on that, like always. And then I'm like, my skin don't look good. Somebody my skin. Hey, Anwar. Yeah, so it's I need to stop complaining and get my skincare on. So I'm trying to do this whole not have makeup on, which is also difficult. For me, at least, it's difficult because I like playing with makeup. But yeah, so tonight is sex stories and confessions. And the reason why I said you'll LOL later, the reason why I named the episode that, is because you ever have a situation happen and you're like, you tell a friend what happened and they are dying of laughter. And you're just sitting there like, I mean, yeah, it was funny. It just, like, it wasn't that funny. I mean, I wanted you to chuckle and ha-ha, but not cackle, not throw your head back and laugh, not ha-ha. Like, I didn't want all of that. I just want a little chuckle. So it's the stories that people told us we'll laugh about later. Maybe some of y'all haven't laughed about it yet, but that's okay. That's okay. You guys can laugh at my stories because I'll be sharing mine as well. Twin, you said me too. Definitely do morning, but lazy on night. See, and I'm the opposite. I think because of my work schedule, because I work nights, I'm lazy in the morning and not at night. And I'm also lazy with my sunscreen. So I'm trying to get better on my sunscreen because blood people. My people, we need to be wearing our sunscreen. We do. Just because we got melanin, just because black don't crack, doesn't mean like you can't have a chip. You know what I mean? You can get a chip. So to prevent the chipping, to prevent the chips, I need to be on my skincare. And she actually saved my skin, because I didn't even realize that I should be toning in between your mask and your serum. I'm sorry, Anwar. It's like, but in between my mask and my serum, I should have been toning. And I used my toner, and I'm like, I felt like Ariel in The Little Mermaid. It's like, like I felt amazing. But yes, I'm starting it tomorrow. I think it's for a month. And she gives you like this calendar that you can check off that you are doing it, because it takes 21 days to form a habit. So yes, I'm actually really excited about that. Yes, I don't know. That's the thing. I think a lot of men too, especially black men, don't always focus on their skincare. They're more focused on like the shaving aspect of your face. If you have to shave, I know a lot of black men already know, like, you know, what products will work for you and what won't. But very rarely do you get to talk about skincare or be included in the conversation for skincare. So I get it. It's usually every guy I know is like, yeah, you know, got this product from a last girl or this girl or a side girl. Like it's or even their moms. I know some guys. But yeah. Okay, so to the topic. Sex stories. So I'm going to tell one of my, like, you guys can think of, it can be your freakiest, it can be your most embarrassing, it can be one that you're like, I know everyone said I shouldn't be bothered, but I'm bothered. I'm triggered by this. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to think, what's my first triggering, my first triggering story, as you guys get your stories together, as people log in, because you know we black people, it's 8:37, you know we might show up a little late, that's all right. So my first story, I call him the Black Smurf. Sherry Twain. I call him the Black Smurf because I'm a tall girl. Okay, I'm tall. I'm 5.5, right? So I'm talking to this guy, and you know he's cute, and you know he's Caribbean, and he could whine. And back then I thought, if you can whine, you can take the time, because I thought, like, if you know how to whine, then you getting it in, right? So I go to his house because he lives on his own, another plus. And this is when I was 21, I want to say. Yeah, 21. Go to his place, and we start to have sex, and I realize, even though I thought he was the same height as me, hey Sultry, what's up? Sultry said, what's up? Even though he was the same height in bed, and so we get into bed, and usually, sometimes, the first position that you get into happens to be missionary, and we're in missionary. And I realize that his thrusting, like him going in and out of me right now, he's using his feet on my calves for leverage. And maybe for nobody else, it wouldn't have been a problem. But in that moment, I was like, fucking a Smurf, because his feet are on my calf, and not on my ankles, y'all, on my calf, and I could feel his toes pushing in, so I know he's trying to, hey, Kinky Black Girl, guys, my friend Kinky Black Girl has a podcast, you guys need to listen to it, it's amazing. But anyways, I just saw her name pop up, I had to say hi. Yeah, he was using his feet on my calves, and you may think, Andie, what's the big deal? Like, short people, tall people, we can all get along. And I'm totally fine with that. I have nothing against, listen to me right here, I have nothing against fucking anybody shorter than me, okay? If you with it, I'm with it. But let's not use my calf as your leverage. Because you know what happens when people are really really trying to hold their ground? They dig their toes into you. And so I had toes in my calf. And then he's grunting, and I'm like, every woman has a moment. I'm sure guys do too, but I'm a woman, I can't speak for y'all. Every woman has a moment when she looks up and she's like, the view to feeling ratio doesn't work out because you look like you're doing a lot of work. But I don't feel a lot of work. So it was tough. It was tough for me because I wanted to be in the moment. I wanted to not judge him. But it's really hard to get in the moment when someone's using their toes on your arm. I'm just saying. Hey, Jackie. I know you work Sundays, girl, so I feel you. Hey, Tasha. I just see my girl Tasha's in here too. Yeah, it was hard for me because I went home thinking, okay, Gemini, you can't judge somebody because they're short and they happen to put on your, that's wrong. I mean, he's a great guy. He's good looking. He's cute. The sex was good. I couldn't do it though, y'all. I'm sorry. I couldn't do it. I stopped talking to him after that because I loved the Smurfs. I was hard for Smurfs. I just didn't want to actually have sex with a Smurf. I didn't. And every time he sees me now, he doesn't really talk to me that much. I kind of ghosted him before ghosted was a thing. More like I didn't respond to my pages. Y'all, I had a bomb-ass page. Man, my pager was bomb. I also didn't pay for it. I got it for free. But yeah, that's my... that was my first, Everyone said I'm gonna laugh about this later. That, he used my legs for leverage. But I haven't laughed yet. It hasn't come up. The laughter hasn't come. You hear me chuckle a little, but I still feel his toes, y'all. I still feel it. I still do. And so I apologize to any of the men that may have come after him and your toes might have brushed past my leg and I was like, what the fuck you doing? I apologize. You've now learned why that happened. For all of the men. I'm joking, guys. But yes, okay, so that's my first. Oh, I got stories, y'all. Y'all know I got stories. Anwar said, Smurfs is the shit. But Smurfs ain't sexy. They're not. They're not. I'm also gonna let you guys know, I think I have about a 10-second delay just in case you're thinking, oh, she's ignoring me. No. I mean, some of y'all are probably are. Just joking. But yeah, so Smurfs, like Anwar said, they're the shit. Love them to death. Just like I love Care Bears. I don't want to fuck a Care Bear. And I don't go back to a Smurf again. So that's my story. But I need to know, y'all, the craziest story you have. And especially women, because we all have some story you really thought that works? I just read something on Instagram a few minutes before the show started. And it was somebody posted, you should pee after you have sex even if you don't come. And a black man responded with, bruh, that don't work. I peed before and after and she still got pregnant. I said, y'all ever just sit there almost in frozen mode? Someone would be like, is the video paused? Because you're just what? What? It's okay. You thought peeing was gonna stop her from being pregnant. Like, sex education really needs to be universal for everybody, everyone. Kinky Black Girl said, tell us all the stories. Okay, let's see. So I have a Smurf story. I think we did the virginity episode, because my virginity story, I did share that one too. You know who else there is? I could talk about Banana Man. Banana Man. Banana Man was like this dude, y'all ladies know who I'm talking about. That dude that like grew up cute and puberty slapped him just right, so he went from cute to good looking. And so he always been good looking, which means he's never had to like work for nothing. So anyways, Banana Man thought he was a shit. Banana Man thought that his shit don't stink. Like, Banana Man thought he was amazing. And Banana Man talked himself up. Yeah, I'm going to keep saying his name like that, y'all. Banana Man talked himself up for weeks. Weeks. About how I was about to get the business. How my insides were I was going to have to go to the hospital afterwards. Like, he talked himself up for weeks. So I finally get him over because, like, back in the day, I don't know, y'all let me know. Where were y'all having sex back in the day? When I say back in the day, I mean, like, end of teenage years, going into your 20s. If you were still living at home, if you weren't, I mean, if you're on your own, power to you. I was still at home. And my parents went away a lot. So glad they're not watching this because they'd be learning stuff they don't need to know. My parents went away a lot, and I would like coordinate my appointments for when they go away. So finally we had an opening, and he came over and he dropped his pants, and it was curved. And I mean, there's curve. There's all kinds of curves. You know what I mean? And that's fine. A curve is a curve. And sometimes a curve, when a curve hits you in the right way. Okay. But this curve was like a sharp left. Like a hard left. Like you were supposed to turn left and you already sort of kind of going straight. And so you got to veer hard. Like it was hard. You know? Twin said in my basement, in my den, these are at home. Yeah, it was like, I think that was the basement. Definitely in our basement had like a living seated area, and then I had my bedroom. But yeah, it was definitely basement. Are there anybody, and you can share, this is a safe space, y'all. Parents' bedrooms? Parents' bedrooms. I did, y'all. I was in my parents' bedroom. Twin, write the curve story. But so it was a hard curve. But like, this is when I was in my 20s. And in my 20s, I was open to a lot of different things. I was like, I can do this. I mean, I'm not going to climb Mount Everest ever, but I can do this. It's not even on my bucket list. I'm just going to check it off anyways. So anyways, I prepare myself, and he goes in. First of all, to get him in, y'all, to get him in was like playing with my younger cousins and the little block set they would have. And you had that one stupid ass child trying to put the triangle into the square. And I'm like, bitch, I just showed you where to put that. You put it into the triangle hole. That's what it was like. It was like trying to put a triangle into a square hole. It hurt. Like, I was like, yo, women are not giving you that reaction because you the shit and you the bomb. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. That's all I told him. That's literally all I told him. Back then, it hurts. I don't want to do this. And so, Banana Man proceeded to tell everybody that I can't take the D. Y'all, he's so lucky there was not Instagram back then. Because what he didn't know is that Andie had just gotten, remember them new Polaroid cameras that like, and I don't mean like our old back in the day, like, I don't know who told us to do that. I mean the new ones that like you could take the little cute pictures and stick them on places. Well, I had to show my friends what a banana dick looked like, so I took a picture. So when he was like, she can't take D, I then showed our friends, would you want to put this inside of you? And because it was a sticker, that went right in my agenda. I tell you, like, don't mess with me. Don't. Trying to tell me I can't take D. No, you are Captain Hook. You tried to put Captain Hook into me, and I would never try to put Captain Hook in there. Skirks. No. 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 I'm not doing that. Actual Hook. Exhibit D. Like, Twin said never there. In my bedroom only. So Twin never had sex in her parents' room. I mean, it just happened that way. And it was like, well, I know I'm doing something dirty. Anwar said, dope ass shirt, thank you. Anything is possible, right? Yeah, it was so painful. And my thing is, okay, this may be an unpopular opinion, but I feel like if you are a black man with a curved to Captain Hook dick, like there's a spectrum, there's a spectrum. You can have like slightly curved where you drop your pants and the girl's like, oh, like I know what I can do with that. It's like that HGTV face, I have plans for that. And then you go to Captain Hook where she's like, Am I in high school statistics all over again? How is that supposed to fit in me? How? Like, it's one or the other, right? So when you have that, I feel like you should have an understanding of how this is going to work. You should have an understanding of like certain positions that maybe you won't be able to do. Like if you're Captain Hook, don't you ever watch me in my face and tell me to get on you and start riding. Ride weird. Like, yeah, I mean, looking at you like you're a Muppet. Like, what? No. You need to know your angles. Know them. So Twin said, mine is the same way. It was my childhood crush, and we finally got together in my basement, and he had a hard curve too. Curve to the right, and he could not for the life of me put it in. And see, that's the thing. I know a lot of women who will think, oh, I can't get it in. What's wrong with me? Or do I have like a condition that it's maybe I'm just way too tight? Because that was another thing. He was like, oh, maybe you're too tight. Girls, I wasn't. Okay, so my mother gave me a very comprehensive sex education. But when it came to sort of the sex street talk, I was not up on that. So having somebody tell me that I was too tight, I thought was a bad thing. I remember the first time I was told I had a fat pussy, I thought was a bad thing. I ran home crying. So I was like, too tight? Maybe I am. Like, what? No. Don't ever think it's you. And I'm not saying it's the black man. It isn't always his fault as well. It's just that we don't have the knowledge that we should have at that age. That's really our biggest problem. We don't have the knowledge, and neither does he. So the second part of Twin's story, so she said, curved to the right, and he could not for the life of me put it in. And it was painful. I started laughing, and he almost lost his erection. I mean, like, sir, it's not my fault. It's not. You need to go to Neverland with that shit. I ain't asked for it. And okay, there may not be that many guys in here, but I was once told that a guy could get a curved dick from like just how you will have it in your waistband, just sleep, like almost in the way that after a certain number of years, a woman's breasts, part of the reason if you have saggy breasts, how they're shaped, is also dependent on how you sleep. I sleep on my stomach, which is very bad. I know. Don't look at me like that. But I sleep on my stomach, and it does affect in the way, I mean, it's also hereditary and all those other things, but I was once told that, but I don't know. Is that true? Or is it just that you're born? You can't be born that way. Can you be born that way? I might have to look this up, y'all. If you can be born like Captain Hook. Yeah. Anwar said, these are all great things. Because sometimes we don't know. And that's the thing. I think as women, especially Black women, because we don't get, as Black people, we don't get the same access to information sometimes as other people. In the States, I know that is historically accurate. And I feel like we sometimes think, well, I'm the virgin going into this situation and you've had sex, so you know more. But having sex, like the quantity of sex, does not mean that you understand things. Women, we meet men that are like, yo, every time I do this move, the girls love it. And you're like, all right, do that move. Do it, baby. And then he'll just like cut your leg and you're like, who the fuck said they like this? Like, I'm bleeding. Like, there's lots of things that they don't know. And y'all know, for my regulars, you guys know I always say, like, we don't communicate as Black women. We stay quiet thinking that they'll get it, but they don't. So, to continue Twin's story, she said, so I gave him head, and it was weird, because I couldn't get it all in my mouth. And so when he came, I ran to the sink, and I spit it out. You know what? That's another... Do ladies, do you guys have stories of, like, spitting? Because I've never done it in, like, a obvious way. I've never done it in an obvious way. But I have done it. But I think that's also my Caribbean background. My Caribbean people know. And most Black people, I think we all get this guilt. That your parents would have told you, you're not eating your food. You know that children starving in Africa, you know. Starving in Africa, and you don't want to eat this good food that your parents make for you. Oh, the ungrateful children, you know. Oh, they're so blasted ungrateful. So, like, I learned how to, like, chew and then spit it quietly into the napkin, but, like, spread it out so that my mama wouldn't know. So, like, I do the same. Like, if your spunk tasting funk, like, I'm gonna spit it out. He deserved it. And especially a curved dick in your mouth. Like, where is he going? Here? Are you giving me a dental exam? Are you trying to see if my wisdom teeth are still there? Because they're not. I can just tell you. Where are you putting that? And they're all... That's the thing. It's like a man with an extremely curved dick. I've yet to meet one that is like... has the wherewithal to let a woman know, okay, you know what? Like, it's a little curved down there. No, they drop their pants like so. You gonna put it in your mouth? How, Sway? Whose mouth is that fitting in? Just because I can open this thing wide for, like, actual food, like burgers and chicken and stuff, does not mean it can fit that. You out your cotton picking mind. That's what you are. Like, Twin said there was only one time she'd done it. Honestly, I haven't met any guys, personally, like that. Again, Twin said no, his was bent. That's what it is. Like, it's sharp right. You're turning so. Like, that's what it felt like. It felt like a Trinidadian giving me directions. I've seen pictures, like, online and porn. I've seen a lot of curved dick men that I'm like, oh, I feel bad for your baby mama. But not in person. In person, I get the nice curves that have you like, this is like a real estate property, because I know what I'm going to do with this space. Like, it's what it is. Hello, Kareem. How you doing? Yes. So, these are the stories that I just feel like, I don't know if I'm going to laugh. Like, I haven't laughed yet. I just haven't. Okay, Twin, I have no sympathy for you. I'm sorry, y'all. This woman said, and then I had the nerve to try it again years later. No. Second time, you ain't got no sympathy. It is just like what my daddy told my brother when he had kids. The first time you have a kid with a crazy person, that's on her. But the second time, that's on you. Like, you can't go back to crazy pussy and then be like, ooh, I tripped. Ooh. Oh, man. I just fell into some pussy. Like, no. not crazy pussy. Crazy pussy is calculated. And so she said, of course it was the same problem. You tried again years later, and it was the same problem. He was mad as hell too. They always mad because they don't get it. I'm guessing they don't get it often. You bet. I go home now. My mom's asking me why you can't eat dinner because my jaw is sore. Did you go to the dentist? No. It just hurts up here in the back. Like, I just can't. I'm trying to think. Like, so I was even trying to think of other people's stories, but I forget. I don't know if y'all are the same. I forget certain things. And I was telling my friend today, I'm like, look, if TransUnion and Equifax like drop my financial information after 7 years, then certain people get dropped as well. They do. They don't count anymore. Certain people I've had sex with. So my numbers are actually pretty decent. Is that a thing, y'all? Like, people talk about that? Their sex number, like or somebody said, a friend of mine had made a post and it was like your body count. I was like, body count? That sounds like like I killed somebody. I didn't kill nobody. And if I did, I'm not admitting to you and on like YouTube. Oh, crazy trying to catch me in something. It ain't gonna happen. But yeah, are women still tracking their numbers? Because I never did. Or maybe I did at some point. But now? I can barely remember what I wore last week. 4 days ago. How am I supposed to remember who I slept with in 2009? Y'all, I don't even know where I was in 2009. Like, was I alive? I don't even know. Was I alive? I don't think I was. But apparently people still track those numbers. That shocks me that people still track. Oh, Isaac said, nah, you don't track your body count. I guess that body count? The number of people that you have sex with? Because as men, I don't think you really have to, but I know that some people have asked that question. I know women will ask some men, and vice versa, women get asked. Sultry said, laughing my ass off, I know mine. Twin said, yep, I do. And remember every single man and woman I slept with, good and bad. You're good, because there's some people, there's some trips. Shoot, there's some trips. If somebody told me today without pictures that I went on, I wouldn't even remember. Like, I would not even remember that I went on that trip. I'd be like, what are you talking about? I've never been to Cancun. Oh, what? Oh, I went 3 times. Oh. What did we do? Drink. Yeah, I remember that. Okay, yeah. Okay. I'm with you now. I'm with you. Like, y'all are good. I don't remember those things. And worse, it definitely sounds like a serial killer. Body counts don't mean a damn thing. Babies come out of there, fam. That's another thing. Like, for the men or for the women that are bothered by that, it doesn't mean a thing. Even I was talking to a friend and he was saying, I haven't had a lot of partners. And I'm like, but it actually doesn't matter because I can have 5 partners this month. And if I've slept with them once, I've had sex 5 times. Whereas my friend could be in a committed, healthy relationship and having sex 4 to 5 days a week. She's having way more sex. She's probably experimenting and like trying out things way more than I am. So to me, she has more of the information than me. I'm just getting it where I can get it. I'm riding around and I'm getting it. I'm riding around and I'm getting it. Like, that's all I'm doing. But that doesn't mean that the person who was in a relationship having sex knows less than someone who's having sex with different people. We just know two different sets of information. That's all that is. Twin said, there's some I wish I can forget. Girl, I still wish Banana Man never happened. Like, Papa Smurf, the only reason I call him Papa is because, like, he was older than me. But Papa Smurf, it's not that I don't wish it didn't happen, I just wish it didn't happen. I don't want to erase him away completely. Banana Man, I literally wish, what was that? There's a movie with Jim Carrey, and it was like, something of a spotless mind, but like he got to erase his memory. That's what I want. I just want to cut you out of my memory. But then the little petty person in my brain is like, if you cut him out of your memory, girl, you might see him on the street and say hi to him. Ew. I don't want to do that. So I recognize that he has to be there. Isaac said, nah, I meant some women don't body count, but I do. Okay. It's funny because I guess I'm used to growing up and seeing in media that a woman's body count, or the amount of people that a woman has slept with, is important and it's used to judge her. And the amount of people a man has slept with is important and it's used to show his masculinity, his male prowess. Like the more women he's been with, the more notches on his bedpost, then it shows how much of a man he is, or how sexually advanced he would be in the bedroom. Thank you, Anwar. Eternal sunshine of the spotless mind. I was like, I know there's sunshine and there's spotless mind. And I told y'all, if I could get song lyrics out of my head, I could have been a physicist. Anwar said, I had a girl start texting her friend while I was hitting it from the back. That is so, like, I know some of y'all are sitting behind your computer screens like, and I just giggled a little. But that is so rude. Like, why even bother? Why even bother? If you're not enjoying it, like, just, I don't know, tell him to change his stroke. And don't get me wrong, I will say this. Oh my God, I think it was with Smurf. There was one time I was having sex with Smurf, and I couldn't, like, we were in missionary, and he's like, your face is like, because my face was just like, this man's he really has his toes on my leg. This was my face, right? And you know, at some point you just forget. Hey, Vashka, hola, ¿cómo estás? Sometimes you just forget. And so I had to be like, can we do back shots, baby? I love when you're behind me. And so that I think to this day he's convinced that, like, I love back shots. To this day he's convinced that's my favorite position. Some of y'all men, I'm not saying, like, a lot of girls, yes, they do love that, but some of y'all, it's not that we love it, it's just you don't have to see our face and we don't have to see yours. That's just all it is. You know, some guys, yes, you can own the back shot, but some of y'all just don't want to see your face. But that was old me. That was young Andie. Grown Andie? Tired Andie? Tired Andie just gonna tell you, this isn't working. Like, can we... I'm hot. Like, I will tell you, it's not quite working. But yeah, Vashkan, we're sharing our sex stories. We're sharing, what was one of the things I'd ask for the guys, like, do you count how many women that you've slept with? Do you know the number? I know if the number is like a relatively low number, of course you remember. If you've only slept with 5 people, I get that. At one point, I used to tell people all the time, I can count how many people I've slept with on one hand. And then, of course, some family member was like, so can I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I was like, oh, that's true. I shouldn't have said that. But no, Anwar, I think that's rude. Sorry. So you said Anwar said it was a one-night stand, but if she'd said something, maybe I could have made it better. That's the thing. If she'd said something, and I hear so many black men say that, if she just said something. Or the black men that some of us women get that think like, yo, when I do this tongue thing, the 17 girls that I've slept with said they loved it. Did they, or did they just stay quiet? And even if they did love it, I don't. I do not. Just like probably 98% of Trinidad loves ginger beer. I personally do not. You can have my ginger beer. Take it. I don't want it. I don't like ginger beer. That is my thing. You don't have to, like, 17 people like the way I suck dick. One guy could not. 1, does that mean that I'm bad at it? No. But 2, it means I should at least, if I'm saying that I want to be with this person, if I'm saying that I want to please this person, then I should at least try to change my thing to what they like. That's all I'm saying. It's probably more than I'm saying, because y'all know I'm always talking. But yeah. So Vashkan said, yes, I know my count. Selchi said, it's gross. And I said, maybe, but it's possible there was no chemistry. That could be it too, especially when it's a one night stand, because I feel like when you're with somebody, you know what I mean? There's more space to be able to be awkward and have something weird happen. Like, you know, somebody farts and we're both laughing about it. But a one night stand, it's like, you really had to pass gas right now? Like, what? Man, I knew I should have gone with the girl I met at 10 o'clock. Like, that's what a one night stand could do. Twin said, love ginger beer. Now you're gonna have me look for it. Just to say, I mean, and some people, because people will be like, you don't like ginger beer, girl? I don't. I do not. Okay. Vashcon said, always had to make each woman a whole new encounter. Not everyone likes the same things. But this is the thing, like, sometimes I think we get so, I mean, everyone has, like, a move, or everyone has a thing that they love to do, whether it's to please yourself or to please the person. So I get that, yes, it could be a little, you know, a little bit of a hurting my ego a little, that you're saying you don't like something that everyone else has told me is really great. And for me, as an example, I would say sucking dick. If I'm with guys and they're like, oh my God, it was so great, it was so great, it was so great. And then you get the one guy that's like, you've been sucking his dick for a good 20 minutes. Like, your jaw's starting to get sore. And he's like, I don't really feel it. Like, most women will blame themselves. Most women will be like, okay, I'm not. Because even for myself, with, like, one of my exes, I thought, okay, I must be bad at it because he doesn't like it. So if I'm bad at it, I'm gonna go take a class. So this, I guess this could count as a sex story too, but okay. So I took a class on sucking dick at one of the local sex stores here that is so amazing. It's called Good for Her. It's basically, like, the store is basically geared towards making women comfortable in shopping for sex toys. And, you know, they have a lot of them out that you can try, that you can plug in and see. I love that aspect, because sex toys, it's hard to always know what you like. And I feel like men know, like, to sort of research different things and, okay, maybe I'll get from here or there. But as women, when we get nervous, we might be like, okay, I'll just buy it. It's not a big deal. And so I love them for that. But they also have classes and workshops, and one of them was about sucking dick. And I took it. Anwar said, I kind of need to know what she's into to know how best to please her. And Vashcon, as well as me, facts. That's really what it is. And if they're not talking to you, if you're not talking to your partner, and with a one night stand, you know what I mean, or a casual encounter, I get that. You're kind of just like rip each other's clothes off and in the heat of it and passion. But I feel like with a one night stand, that should be when you open your mouth more. That should be you being like, you know what, this is, even if you don't want to talk to the person and say, I don't like this, if you don't want to crush somebody's feelings, even if you're in the middle of something and you know that you would feel better if, I don't know, he had you up on the counter, girl, slide his dick out, hop your ass up onto that counter and spread your legs. Because I guarantee you all the money in the world, that nigga will slide right back in. Like, no dude is going to be like, did she just change up the positions? I'm out. Fucking, I'm writing a letter to my MP. Like, no guy's going to do that. Lucy, hi. Hi, Lucy. No guy's going to, like, you don't even have to talk. You literally can just be like, okay, hold up. Like, for 1 second, you might get what you doing? Because you get nervous. I mean, you just slid off the dick. He's going to get nervous, but change it up. You don't even have to talk, ladies. But yeah, Ashkan said, I've got plenty of books to improve eating pussy. There's always something new to learn. And that's the thing. There's always something new to learn. Twin said, knock on wood, I've yet for someone to tell me I'm not giving good head. Twin? Are you forgetting the story that you told us? Are you forgetting? Mr. Man? So I just got a song in my head. Yeah, so I take this class, and it is run by this chocolatey, plus size, burlesque dancer who I obviously fell in love with within 2 seconds. And so I'm, you guys don't know this about me, but taking a class or anything where I know I'm going to learn, I am a nerd. I'm the one with like the notebooks, and there's different colors for whatever I've decided they're going to be for. My highlighters, my pens, everything it's organized. So I come into the class and I'm like, I am so ready. I'm ready for this. Okay. Wait. I think I'm going to use the blue. Should I use a blue pen or a black? It's okay. Okay. All right. I'm ready. And so she starts talking, and I tell myself, okay, we're just going to write things that we don't know. Because, I mean, if she says stuff that we know, there's no point in writing that down, right? Wait, no, I know that. Okay, I know that one. No, I already knew that. I don't think I'm gonna have to. I didn't write a single note, y'all. If you saw, like, if I still have my note page from that day, it was the date in the top right corner, because I got that from school. I always put the date in the top right corner. And that's it. There was just a date. There was a date in the top right corner. And we said, yay, nerds. Yeah. Yeah. I will be nerdy like that. But, yeah, like, I didn't learn anything. I realized that the things that they were teaching, I knew already. Use a lot of saliva. Like, show that you love it. Use your hands. I was like, I know these things. I didn't need to take this class. And I don't know if it's a black thing, but obviously the next thought was, I could have saved myself that money. And of course, the minute I broke up with that fool, my next thought was, why did I ever take that class for him? Like, it was, there was just so many things. Okay, so Twin said, oh, that was different because he never said it. It wasn't good. He just couldn't maintain his erection. Girl, I don't think he thought that was good. I don't think he did. Not saying you're not good. I just don't think he thought it was. But I feel like that's a great example. It's like, we don't hear anything, but it's the same as women not saying things. Because I've had guys be like, well, that doesn't mean that she didn't like how I eat pussy. It's like, well, yeah, because if she did, she'd be making noise. Unless you're with a girl who literally will tell you, like, I don't make noise. And I used to be that person. I hated hearing my voice. And I was like, I don't really make noise. But you still got in, like, moans. And even women who don't talk and they don't feel comfortable talking in bed, you're still going to hear you're going to hear a moan. You're going to hear a groan. But like I said, that wouldn't mean that you're bad at sucking dick. It just means that whatever he wanted, it was incompatible. That's all it was. Incompatible. But yeah, I should have saved that money because I learned nothing new. I really didn't. And then I had to realize, okay, I haven't learned anything new, and this is a expert telling me this is what you should do if you want to please somebody in sucking their dick. So then I guess that means people are different and they don't always like the same things. Oh, like that's the thing. Annie Noire said, I used to watch Real Sex on HBO and take mental notes. And you know what? I find that sometimes even just, do you guys feel that way? Sometimes even just in the shows we watch, whether you're watching Ratchet TV or you're watching, I don't know, a sitcom, and they'll say something and then I'm like, Like, for example, one of my favorite movies, Zack and Miri Make a Porno. And Tracy Lawrence, just the fact that she did that movie, like, my heart. Anyways, sorry. But there's a character in the movie, and she's like, they're about to do an anal scene, and she says, oh my God, I'm so happy. It's really great for constipation. And I went, is it? Oh. And from that's what when people ask me, like, what made you even want to try anal on your own? Zach and Mary make a porno. That's what made me try it. Because before that, I was like, he tried it, it hurt, I'm not doing it. Hey, Jenna. I was like, I'm not, I ain't doing it, get away. But I watched that movie, and when she said it helped with constipation, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try it. That's the only reason. The only reason. Twin said he was moaning, but hey, don't keep bringing it because now you have me on a laughing fit. And Lucy said, me too. Dashcon said, yes, shows do be having some gems. They do, even if it's just because you're thinking, that can't be true. I gotta try that. And it's the same as porn. We talked about that too. Watching porn, I'm like, oh, I want to try that. I actually was watching a show, my new favorite sitcom, called Working Moms. It's a Canadian show. Bra, bra. And the girl in it, she was like, sometimes I watch porn just to get sounds. I was like, I've never done that, but hello? Sounds. Phrases? I didn't even go that far, but yeah, you could, like, our media be giving us gems. Twin said, real sex had me watching it on every Sunday night. I didn't watch it only because HBO here, you had to pay extra for. Caribbean Father was not paying extra for shit. So I didn't have HBO. But for us, my Sunday show was a Sunday night sex show with Sue Johansson. And I'm guessing a lot of people, even just on the border states close to us, like Ohio and Michigan and Illinois and stuff like that, I know they got her show too. I was in love. Hold on. Yeah, I was in love with that show. Because the thing with Sue is, like, Sue had models. Like, she always had a model of the female reproductive system, and she'd have a model of the male reproductive system. See, Twin said I watched her too. And I'm guessing, was it when you were in Chicago? Because, yeah, the bordering states. So Illinois, Michigan, and Ohio would have definitely gotten a lot of our shows, especially if it was like PBS type of educational shows. Vashcon says Sue is the GOAT. I love her. And what I loved is Sue was a show that you could sit and watch with your parents. I watched it with my mom. Sue never talked about race. Like, it was always about, this is the female body, this is the male body. She was open to gay men, she was just open to everybody. Anyone who wrote her a letter, she would answer. And she would show you specifically on the woman exactly what she's talking about. And I always thought that was so beautiful, because men, even though Black men, I know you feel like, well, we don't really know much about your body down there. Black women don't either. Like, they're not taught that. Their mothers teach them what they know. And if your mother wasn't taught every single part of her reproductive system, she's just going to teach you about, like, your period, put on a pad, and, like, maybe a rudimentary introduction into sex. But even sex, I know some women, I was watching my mom's favorite show, is it Long Lost Family? Where they reunite adoptive kids, and there's a Black woman on there who had a child at 14 in, I think, around the 40s or 50s, and the reason was because she was never even told what sex was. She was just told, you don't have sex, you a girl, you don't do it. But she was like, I didn't even know what it was that I wasn't supposed to do. So, like, was sex climbing trees? Was sex, you know what I mean, riding your bike to, like, no one's even telling you that. And I know that a lot of Black parents that most of us were raised with, it was very much a, like, you're a child, you don't ask me questions, so you just take what I say and that's it. And that's tough for people, for Black children that are not even learning it in school. So I know Black men probably think we know a lot. We don't. I mean, I think it was just last year or the year before, Orange is the New Black had an episode where Laverne Cox, they were talking about like where a woman pees out of, and most of the women in that jail did not understand that you have an urethra and you have your vagina. They thought, oh, I thought I just pee out of my vagina. And these are grown women. Like that's just what happens. We're not always given the proper information. And even after that episode, I remember talking to friends and they were like, yeah, I didn't learn, or yeah, it made me go look, and so we don't always know that. And it's great to have seen her show, especially at a time when my brain was developing, that I was like, yes, I need to know these things, because Sue answered questions very clinically. She never judged people, and she was very much about, you guys got to do the research. And this was back before we had the beauty of Google and the internet to do research in the privacy of your own home, right? So I loved her. She was amazing. Vashkon said she helped so much with saving me from taking some mental L's and fucking up simple things. And Twin said, I'm going to be like that when I grow up, like Sue. And that's another thing. She showed us that this woman, who I think, I don't want to say what her age was when she filmed it, because I don't know it specifically, but she was a mature woman. And you're seeing this woman talk about sex like, hey, sex is normal and it's fine, and we can have conversations about it. And we can educate our children without telling them that, they should be in the streets having sex. We can educate them. So yeah, I loved her show. Lucy said, I thank God I had sex education classes in middle school. And I guess you guys can let me know, because I wasn't taught in the American school system. But I see a lot of people talk about the fact that sex education was not really on the table. I went to a Catholic school. I went to a religious school, and so they didn't really talk about sex as much at school. And they talked about, like, having it for your parents to have a baby, but they didn't really talk about sex. So for me, I learned more from my mom being very open and honest. And then I learned from being a nerd and actually going to the library. I used to take out books about sex. It's probably why. I remember taking out a book, and it was like a young adult, more like late teen years, that was like all about sex and like drawing like the male and female body and stuff like that. And I remember looking at the book thinking, I still don't get it, because the pictures I saw were of white people. They still weren't of me. I was like, but they don't look like that. Is that how it's gonna look? And then going to my mom finally and being like, Mom, I don't understand this. And her be like, okay, we gonna need to talk about some things. But yeah, that's great though, Lucy, that you had those classes. So Vashkon said our sex ed was trash. Jackie said, I had sex ed in school, but my mom also did safe sex outreach for work. That's amazing. So Jackie, did you have conversations? Because I know sometimes, your mom can be a professional in something. That doesn't necessarily mean you want to have that conversation with her. But what was that like growing up with a mom like that? Twin said, my sex education classes were bullshit when I was young. My mother bought me books. That's great. Your mom, and see, the thing is, I notice a lot with us Black women, it's a lot about our moms. And I think it has to do with whatever they may have been taught. They didn't want the same for their girl children. Lucy said, I don't know why they stopped having that in schools anymore. I think it got to the point now, Lucy, it's like that, I call it like the peanut allergy generation. Like we're just going to outlaw everything because some parents are not comfortable with us having discussions about sex. So we're just going to outlaw it from everybody. But unfortunately, there are some children who are not getting the education from their parents, and not because they have bad parents. Their parents like working their asses off just to stay afloat. Who has time to then, sit down at the end of a double shift and have a conversation with your child, a proper patient conversation about sex? Because you don't want to do that fast and loosey-goosey. Twin said, I snuck and read her erotica. Oh my God. I used to, romance stories, I'm sorry, y'all. I was like the weirdest 9-year-old child reading Harlequin books. Being like, oh my God, if I could only just meet a man who, like, I then have to take him to the Christmas dinner because I told my parents that I was engaged, but then my engagement fell through. And so I just hired this man because within the entire weekend, we will fall in love. Harlequin said so. Anwar said, I had sex ed, but it was more disease prevention than anything else. And Anwar, what's your, I feel like we're in the same age range, but would that be it? Because I mean, when we went into the 90s, it really was that push for safe sex. And another question I want to ask you guys as I'm still reading the chat. Do you guys feel like, I feel like my generation, we had such a push for safe sex that it almost made us a little bit more fearful. Like my friends of my era, we really are on the ball with, you know, getting our checkups and birth control and making sure we have condoms if he does it. Even the guys I know of from my era are very like on the ball with the type of condoms they like that work for them, and they have them. Like there's never, I've rarely had a situation where I'm like, you don't have a condom? Ooh, y'all, I just remembered a story I can tell y'all afterwards. I just remembered another sex story. I can't believe I forgot about this one. Energizer Bunny. How did I forget about Energizer Bunny? Lucy said my sex ed classes were the truth. And Twin said, and she read other books besides the erotica. Lucy said we had a question box that you could anonymously drop a question in and the teacher would read them aloud and answer the questions. That is so dope. Because I feel like those type of boxes, we used to have that in my high school. But it wasn't for sex ed, unfortunately. But it really allows teenagers, one, to not feel the pressure of their peers in asking a question that they feel is dumb. But two, I know you said middle school, but still, that whole generation, really. And then it allows for discussion because there could have been another kid who thought, I really want to ask that, but I'm not going to. So Jackie said it was interesting. Because I didn't even have to ask her things because she spoke at schools and took me with her. Oh, that's great. So you sort of learn from just her giving her speeches and you're like, oh shit, I didn't know that either. Write that down quick. Just tuck that in there. Like, that's kind of dope. But I know even for myself, like, yes, my mom was really open and I'm older now that I can understand and appreciate it. But back then, sometimes I was like, Mom, I don't want to have a conversation about sex right now. Like, I just don't. I just want to eat my dinner, my mashed potatoes, and my corn, and my meatloaf in peace. Can we not talk about sex? Like, so I get that. Twin said, me too, twin. And Sultry said, that was me. Anwar said, all my mom said about sex was, don't have kids until you can afford them. And see, and a lot, you know what? A lot of Caribbean parents were like that. A lot of Black parents were like that. And when I was younger, I mean, I'm sure all of us when we were younger, you're thinking like, why can't you just tell me the truth? Like, I know I'm a kid, but like, I'm about to turn 18, so I'm about to be a grown ass person. Okay, so you can tell me. Y'all, when I was 18, I thought I'm an adult now. Like, you can't tell me nothing. Now I look back at that 18-year-old like, you stupid little child. But yeah, some things they don't know themselves, especially our mothers. And our mothers are really at that age, and when I say that age, I mean like the age we were. When we go into that fearful age of them, of bringing home a child too young, that's all they tell us. Because my mom, when I mean, she told me about my period, but every sex talk was that at the end, like, don't get yourself pregnant. Do not get yourself pregnant. Like, and I knew that my mom would probably help me, but it was not going to be, you know, they're like, you did this to yourself, so you gonna have to take care of it. Twin said, because of AIDS and HIV for your generation, which she means like, mine being born in the 80s. And you're right, because me being born in the 80s, most of our parents and anyone before the 80s was coming out of that fearful stage of believing at first that HIV was strictly a homosexual disease, and after learning that that's not the case, and also initially they really did not know what this virus was. People thought it was airborne, like, and the way they treated patients back then is just, it's horrific. But I mean, we have a history as humans that when we don't know something, we're very fearful. And if we act on that fear, it causes situations like that. And so, yes, going into the 80s, these people are having children. And of course, the push was, safe sex, put these condoms on, especially. And for me, I found it was even more so for the Black community. And I'm sorry I can't remember the organizations, but there were organizations here in Toronto when I was in my 20s, especially going into the LGBT community, and like finding my place in there. There were a lot of them that were talking specifically to Black men, like to use your condoms, to Black women, like be diligent. If he doesn't have one, then you need to bring one. Like unfortunately, we may feel like, why do I always got to be the one concerned about anything having to do with sex? But like, get the fuck over it. Carry a condom in your purse, in wherever it is. Cause yeah, a guy may use that against you that he doesn't have one. And I said, yeah, we came up in the age of safe sex. We really did. We came off the end of the milk carton and into the safe sex era. And so I think a lot of us are very wary, especially as Black people, because we know our education when it comes to our health, we're not always given the best information. So we try to be as diligent as possible. I think a lot of us are really still, and I think that's why that same generation, my generation, sometimes finds it so hard to transition into this sort of open era of sex, being able to be open with it, like not judging women on sleeping around a lot, when we came from an era that, yes, you were judged. Like, I was taught to minimize certain things and not talk about stuff and make sure I didn't do this or that or in front of, to minimize being considered a slut. And now, like, my little cousin would have a shirt saying slut on it, and it's not, you know what I mean? So I think sometimes it's a little harder for us because we're so used to what we were taught in that era of, okay, it needs to be like this, safe sex, and then everything now can be open. So Twin said, my sex education was mostly the boys asking about the girls' bodies and periods. And it's sad because a lot of women went through that. Twin said, so we got separated and they just talked about puberty, periods, how you could have a baby, and don't masturbate. That's another thing. Like, women aren't, my mom didn't talk to me about masturbating. That was just, there was like a natural flow of things, because the first time I did, I was a very young age. But like, as a woman gets older and realize, like, I know when I was in my late 20s is when I started hearing like, oh, when you get to your 30s, that's when you'll really love sex. That's when a woman's in her 30s. And yet even that, I was like, yeah, but what's the difference between now and in my 30s? No one was actually saying why. No one was saying because when you get more into your 30s, you will become more comfortable with yourself. You will care less about what people think of you. And you will want to try things that please your goddamn body. Like, no one was telling me that. They were just saying, in your 30s, sex will be better. But like, last night was pretty good. So like, what, you know what I mean? So we don't talk enough. That's what I feel. We just don't talk enough about stuff. And both sides think the other side knows more. Like, Black women, we think, oh, well, you could just take the lead, man. Take the lead. And he's like, take the lead? I don't even know where we're going. They just don't. Twin said, yes. If you watched Pose, you could see how they first treated HIV and AIDS patients. It was horrible. They were thoroughly neglected. There's been so many episodes to, like, Pose, you're right, is a great way of seeing it because the show is geared towards the LGBTQ community. So they had more, I feel like there was more of a stretch, especially because one of the characters, his friend was suffering. And but I've even seen, like, I know Grey's Anatomy had an episode about it, when they did a flashback with Chief Weber and stuff like that. There have been a lot of shows, even documentaries, that show us how we treated that. So yeah, it is a big fear, and especially, it's not even just that, but when you break it down to your individual self of, like, Black parents who know that the information given to them is not geared for them, they're going to be twice as protective of their children. Black parents are twice as protective because they know what their child is going to go through. So yes, they're more going to be like, don't do nothing. Don't move. Don't breathe. Just sit there. Like that's what they want to do. Twin said, yes, Twin, it was instinctive to masturbate at a young age. Not a lot of women feel that way, though, Twin. I know boys do, but a lot of women did not masturbate for the first time at a young age. Some of them didn't masturbate till their 20s. I remember being in school with a girl in university, and she'd never even looked at her vagina ever in life. And I was like, what? Never? Like, you never used a mirror? And like, no, nothing. So it's different for people. But yes, okay, so my next story. Energizer Bunny. So I went on this trip with my friends to DC. Shout out DC. I love that city. And there's this guy there. He was, oh God. You know, y'all, I'm attracted to energy, and I know that sounds like y'all are probably like, oh my gosh, she got crystals in her house. I'm attracted to energy, and this guy, the conversations we would have were like amazing. Plus, he was raised Muslim, but he wasn't Muslim anymore, and I found that fascinating. I just had to know, like, oh my God, tell me about your upbringing, and like, why did you turn away from the Islamic faith? Like, I had to know everything. So we've kind of been flirting and teasing for like a good on and off for like about a year, because we obviously didn't live in the same city. So I go to DC and he's there, and I go to this party Friday night. DMV in the house. Yeah, so I go to this party Friday night, and he's there, and he's hosting the party. So I get it, you're hosting the party, we can't really talk that much. I'm not that girl. Like, really, even like, if you're having an event, this is your event. You planned it. I come to support, but that doesn't mean I'm expecting, like, you got to come up and talk to me. I know this is your event. Do your thing. I'm just happy to support. I'm proud of you. Cool. So we go, and, you know, every so often he's coming up and he's like, I'm so sorry I can't spend any time with you. I'm like, what? I can't, because we're in a club. Okay, I can't hear. Like, there's no need, you don't need to spend time with me. I'm getting down. Round and round, and I'm getting it. Like, y'all know, I'm always singing, I'm always dancing. I was on the dance floor. I was having a time. Plus, it was free liquor. Like, anything is possible. Okay, so night ends. I go back to the hotel with my girls. We order pizza and wings. Pizza and wings. Now, it's late night, and I noticed DC doesn't have stuff open like super, super late. Not a bad thing, but it was going to take them a while. I was like, that's fine. As long as I know food is coming, I can wait. I'm patient for food, y'all. It's probably the only thing I'm patient for. So I'm sitting there waiting, and I get a text message like, what are you doing? And not what WID either, ladies. He spelled it out. What are you doing? I know. It's a big deal, because nowadays, like, half these acronyms that I get sent, I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Someone sent me BRT, and I was like, Brr. Is that what you just sent me? Brr. And he's like, no, it meant be right there. Y'all gotta use whole words with me. Use whole words. Anyway, so he said, what are you doing? I was like, chilling with my friends. And he's like, he goes, I know it's after the party, I know it's late night, I know you're gonna think this is a booty call, but I really want to see you. And so I responded, but I have pizza and wings coming. And so my friend sitting beside me saw what I responded and was like, bitch, girl, just go meet him. Like, are you serious? I was like, look, y'all are, the people I love are usually like me, and if you're like me, then you're greedy. So I was like, how am I gonna leave and pizza and wings gonna come? I'm gonna come back and everything's gonna be empty. I don't trust any of y'all bitches, because all y'all love your belly like I do. So I made an agreement first before responding to him that pizza and wings would be saved. Anwar, BRT has to be a new one. I don't understand any of these abbreviations, twin. And the thing is, I've never been good at abbreviations, y'all. I used to work in the government. Government people would be like, so are we starting the OCS? I don't know what that is. Every level of government has a different word for their damn acronyms. I was like, what? That's bomb. He's like, no, it means be right there. I don't know these acronyms. Just write out the word. It's not that hard. You have autocorrect. Talk it out. Upsets me. Anyway, so I made an agreement, y'all, that there was going to be at least 4 slices left for me and 3 wings. Because I mean, normally I would want more wings, but here's the thing. I'm already greedy, and I already knew what they were ordering as something I would order for myself. Like, we ordering 2 pounds of wings. I can sit and eat 2 pounds of wings by myself. I don't need no help. So I was like, I already know I'm not going to get what my belly wants in quantity of wings. So I was like, 3 wings, but I definitely need 4 pizza slices. If you go below 4, I will burn this entire hotel to the ground. Okay. So once that was established and it was in writing, yes, it had to be in writing, I then respond back to him and said, you know what? But for you, I don't need pizza and wings right now. I know, guys. I was a little slick, you know. I was trying to, like, you know, gas him up a little, right? So I go to his hotel. Okay, this is another thing. There's this, I can't remember what the hotel is. There's a hotel in DC. Gorgeous. It's very close to the White House. But the way that they have built this hotel is that from the lobby straight up is just open. So any floor that you're on, you can, like, look down over to the lobby. Which you're probably thinking, that's gorgeous. And yet, for the Black woman who doesn't like people knowing her business, having floors open like that means that anybody from another floor can see what floor you're going to. So I leave now, 3 o'clock in the morning. I leave my room in my cute little pajamas. Y'all know, ladies, y'all know. When we know, everything is matching. Like, I went and got the matching bra and panty, and I got my little cute outfit. Like, what? No, I just threw this on to go to sleep. I don't plan stuff. Okay. Planned it. So, outfit on, and I'm, like, looking out to make sure no one sees me, because you know Black people. Black people see you, and they're like, I know where you going. Especially y'all Americans so loud with it. I just beat people out and sing. At least, like, Caribbean people would be like, let's see, Anwar's going into Twins' room. All right, okay. No. Our American Black friends, like, our especially the guys, hey, you walking over to his room? Like, what? Can you shut up? Can you shut your trap? Shut your mouth. So I was looking, I was, like, scanning, and I'm like, okay, I know where his room is. It was, like, 2 floors up, but it was in the same corner. But the problem was the elevator was on the other side. Y'all, I don't run, but the way I Usain Bolt from that elevator to his door and was like, yo, nigga, when I do the 2 raps, you better open that door quick. Like, I was just like, come on. Can no one see me in here? 2 raps. So I go into his room, and we're sitting there, and we're having this discussion about the party and about Twin said that the hotel I was talking about sounds like the Embassy Suites hotel. It could have been, because it was gorgeous, but I hated that part about it. But yeah, I am greedy. That's what my entire family knows. That's what they call me. My mom says it all the time. You're greedy. Yes. But I'm also now 36. Can we get over it? I'm greedy. We all know it. Anyways, so so I go into his room. We're having this amazing conversation, y'all. And then we start kissing. It's just like, it's like magical, right? You know, just flowing easily. And then the nigga tells me, do you have a condom? Nigga, do you? That's what I said. Nigga, do you? Like, what do you mean, do I have a condom? What did you bring me up to you invited me to your room. So he's like, this was the other thing that upset me. He goes, what about your friend? And I won't say her name. We'll just call her Susie. What about your friend Susie? She doesn't have a condom? Now, granted, I was staying with several girls, so I was more just like, why are you calling out Susie in particular? But anyways, I don't think she does. Really? So me, being the advocate that I am, was like, why you gotta say really like that? Why should she have a condom? You should have condoms. He's like, you're right, my bad. I'm sorry, my bad. He then proceeded to group message all of his quote unquote niggas to see who had. So I sat there messaging my friends. Of course, the first question was, did the pizza and wings come yet? No, it did not. Okay. This Negro don't have a condom. What? Now, twin, I get you, because you said that's why I carry my own. But remember, I'm on vacation in a completely different country. I did not pack. I did not throw condoms into my suitcase. That is one thing. When I'm going on vacation, I feel like the cake of my vacation is the fact that I'm not at work. I'm sleeping in a bed where I don't need to make it, and I'm hanging with my girls. Like, that's it. If I meet with somebody and the vibe goes, then that's the icing. But I didn't go there for the icing. I went for the cake. So finally, one of his boys has condoms. One of his boys is a Trojan man. Like, he was like, all right, cool. So his boy drops off the condoms. And as he's dropping them off, because of course you have to open the hotel room door in order to greet somebody. So he opens the door. His boy gives him the condoms. His boy looks in, because the way the door was, it was like right beside the couch. So his boy looks in and is like, did I just get approved for the condoms? Like, is that what? Did he just like, oh, okay. Yeah. She's worth me coming up these like 2 floors on an elevator. So, anyways, he has the condoms. So, let's get it on. Let's get it on. So we're on the couch, like, going at, like, making out and kissing and then he's like, I don't like having sex on the couch. You deserve a bed. Oh, okay. I just never gotten those words before, y'all. I deserve a bed? Whoop. What does that mean? What does that mean, I deserve a bed? What is I deserve a bed? Anwar, even so, Anwar said he was giving me props because I was fine. But it was like, and I know that's why it was, but I also know what y'all do when you're not fine. So it's like, was he about to be like, I ain't giving you these condoms? Like, what was he gonna do? Twin said it was the Embassy Suites. It probably was, because I don't remember. I didn't remember the name, but like, if I walked into that hotel today, I could tell you. So you're probably right. It was the Embassy Suites, very close to the White. I loved the location. I loved that hotel. Anyways, so we go into his bedroom. I'm sorry, that's gonna be a long ass story. So we go into his bedroom because I deserved a bed. And we get on the bed, and he's like, do you want me to put the radio on? Like, no, I want you to put this dick inside me. But like, what are we doing right now? Because y'all know what I was really thinking, right? Y'all should know me by now. We've been family for a while. I was thinking, my pizza is probably there. I'm here with a nigga telling me about, you deserve a bed. Do you want the radio, sir? Unless it's WBLK in Buffalo playing Quiet Storm, I don't want the goddamn radio, okay? Can we do what I came up here for? God, like, my pizza and my wings, y'all. My pizza and my wings. Like, why? Y'all know it still hurts. So, I go back. go back. And when I say go back, I mean go back into my body, because I was literally like, this nigga said put on the radio. The radio. Who does that anymore? Like, even nowadays, if someone wants to say to you, like, let me put on the radio, it's because their boy got a show, their song's about to play. Like, you know what I mean? Like, procrastinating. Twin said, why was he procrastinating? I don't know what it was. So anyways, he puts the dick on. He slides in. Everything's going good. Everything's going real nice. I'm like, ooh, I got me an ex-Muslim man. And then he kicked it into Energizer Bunny. Energizer Bunny, or what was the other name that I used for him? Jackhammer. Like, I was just like, what? Oh my god. And y'all, I'm also of the era that watched Sex and the City, and there's an episode, I forgot who it was, but they hurt their neck from, it was Carrie. She ends up hurting her neck, like actually getting a crick in her neck from a jackhammer man. And I remember laying there thinking, I'm gonna get a crick in my neck, and I bet these bitches ate my pizza. I remember that's all I was thinking. That's all I was thinking. And I was like, can you slow down? And he was like, oh, it's just, it feels so good. Okay. So it didn't last long. Y'all don't have to worry. It didn't last very long. As Twin said, all that romance setting up, because Anwar said he was trying to romance me. And Twin said, but with all that romance setting up and Trash D, it was like, you know what? It wasn't even Trash D. The D by itself was a beautiful thing. The work, the stamina, the stroke, the rock so, the dip so. That's what you failed on, sir. That's what you failed on. And a small part of me wondered, is it because you stopped being Muslim? But I digress. I was having all kinds of thoughts that night, y'all. So we finish. And this nigga wanted to cuddle. Cuddle, y'all. And when I say cuddle, I mean when your man gets drunk and comes home from a party that you didn't go to with him, and you ask him, babe, how was the party? And he climbs into bed and he latches onto you, like arms and legs, and falls asleep, and you think, I'm hot. Like, how do I get him off me? Because even though he's asleep and he's snoring right by your ear, the jaws of life couldn't pull him off you. That's how this man cuddled onto my body. And so I was like, how do I get out of this situation? I gotta wait until he falls asleep. So I wait until he falls asleep. It doesn't take that long, y'all. It takes maybe like 5-10 minutes. And I decide I'm gonna roll out of the bed. So I detach myself from him and I start to roll. And so I roll. And I roll. And I roll. And I realize I'm not reaching the end of the bed. And then it hits me. I'm in a goddamn, like, California king. Them beds is so like, you could fit like a whole Kardashian family in them beds. That's what I was in. You know how long it took me to get out of that bed, y'all? Like, I think it was 17 minutes. And I say that because I used to know it like by heart, but it could have been either 17 or 19 minutes. It was an odd number. It took me to get out of that bed. And so I finally get out of the bed. And so now I'm like trying to find my clothes. And then when I realize my clothes are actually still outside in the living room, as I go to the door, this fool from the bed wakes up and is like, where are you going? And so I turned and I said, remember I said I had pizza and wings, so